Hello, tender-hearted viewers, and welcome to Animal World, our co-inhabitants. On today's program, we present the first in a two-part series featuring a fascinating discussion with Sharon Callahan, a vegan telepathic animal communicator and the founder of Anaflora, a US-based company that produces flower essences to heal animals and provides animal communication services. Miss Callahan is also the author of Healing Animals Naturally with Flower Essences and Intuitive Listening. Miss Callahan now describes how, as a young child, she learned that she could communicate with animals.
My initial experiences were when I was a child, and the very first experience was with a praying mantis. I was in the backyard of my home, and my cat was crouched down in the corner of our patio intently looking at something. And I was probably 4 or 5, and I got down on my belly so I'd be right at eye level with her, and looked into the eyes of this creature that looked like a space alien. It's kind of scary. And the cat was trying to get the praying mantis. I didn't even know what a praying mantis was at the time. But very clearly the praying mantis said, "Don't let the cat get me. I have children. I can't die now." And so it took all the courage I had to put my finger out and let that praying mantis get on there, and I put it up in a willow tree. And the mantis told me that it would repay the favor, which, as we go along, I can illustrate has happened over and over and over again.
As Sharon Callahan grew up and became busy with everyday life, she gradually stopped communicating with animals. One day, she became extremely ill and had a near-death experience that changed her life forever.
So one evening, with a very high fever, I was making my way back to the bed, and I kind of collapsed into the bed and had an experience of rising up out of my body and then looking at myself from up at the ceiling, and then realizing that my consciousness was being pulled away from my body, and I began to look up at what I thought would be the ceiling, which turned out to be the night sky. And I went through a kind of tube of light through the night sky, through the stars, for what seemed to be a long period of time, which I think in actuality was about 4 or 5 minutes. And at a certain point, I came up in an almost tactile sense against a kind of membrane, bounced against it, and all of a sudden, poof, I found myself in just a magical environment that was filled with nothing but animals of all kinds. Animals that you would not normally find together, you know, polar bears and lions and elephants, cats, dogs, insects of all kinds. And everywhere I would shift my gaze, there was a different landscape with different kinds of animals. And I had the thought, am I in heaven? And as I thought, am I in heaven, the animals answered, no, you can't go that far. You're just here to talk to us. And so in the course of what seemed like a very long time, the animals instructed me on ways in which my life had become kind of misguided or off track, and that I was to go back to Earth, and that they would help me go back, and that when I got back I was to become a voice for the animals, and that I would make a kind of healing elixir for animals that would help to heal them and to heal the people that they lived with. And one of the animals in this experience was an all-white cat with a blue and yellow eye. And so having met my cat Lotus Moon, you can see that here 25 years later, she showed up. And in the near-death experience, she told me she was the cat that was coming to me in the future. So then at the culmination of this experience, the animals led me back to this tube of light. And they sent me back through the tube with a blessing, and I moved back through the stars and into my room, and I could view my body in the bed, thinking, oh, how pathetic she looks, I better get in there quick.
After this event, Miss Callahan discovered that she had a remarkable new talent.
over a period of 3 or 4 months, I had almost total amnesia. And it was during that period of amnesia, I was very childlike, so I would go out into the forest behind my house, and I was just overcome with this urge to take bowls of water out and float the flowers in them. And I didn't know a rose from a buttercup, so it wasn't done at all from a mind level, but I was directed by Spirit simply to do these things and to literally listen to the spirits of the plants talk to me. And these potions later became flower essences that have now grown into a business, which I, of course, had no idea at the time that I would be doing. But it was really in that childlike state that I began to hear animals talk again. And not only animals, but the kind of overlapping energies in nature between the animals and the plants, how the plants and the flowers could help the animals and heal them. When you make a flower essence, you just float a few of the blossoms on a bowl of water, and the sunlight imprints the signature of the flower to the water, so there's no fragrance.
News about Sharon Callahan and her extraordinary ability to heal animals with flower essences spread quickly, and it was not long before her tinctures were in great demand.
As I progressed, I met my partner, who is still with me 25 years later, and he began to take notes and photographs of the plants as I went along, and so created a kind of diary of what I was doing, which became this book eventually. And really, literally, with no effort on my part, people began to contact me about their animals, and I began to give them flower essences, and more people came, and at first the essences were the more popular thing. And then it simply shifted itself more in the direction of communication with animals. People would call me and I would give them advice, and along the way someone suggested I should send some of my flower essences out to veterinarians, which I did. Using my intuition, somebody would mention this person or that person, and a number of veterinarians began using them in their veterinary clinics, primarily a veterinarian, Bob Goldstein, in Westport, Connecticut. And he tested many of them for me in his veterinary practice and had fabulous results.
Miss Callahan has developed a wide variety of flower essences. Some help cats overcome their avoidance of litter boxes, others soothe nervousness in dogs and cats. How does she create these remedies?
All of the flowers that went in the particular formulas and the names that would simply come to me without any thought. So the first formula that was made was called Return to Joy, which is still the most popular of all the anaflora essences. And it's simply to relieve animals of the suffering that they've incurred at the hands of people, whether that suffering arises out of the collective consciousness or their own personal experience. But a lot of my time is spent making special flower essence formulas for individuals, which is really my main thing that I love to do, because they all are uniquely individual.
Miss Callahan is grateful for even the smallest of God's creatures. She recalls a loving gift once received from a spider.
I mean, they're the weavers of life. They do these incredible webs. When I was in the writing phase after I was sick, I had my computer set up at a window in the autumn, and there was an odd-looking white spider that appeared on the outside of the window. And every day when I would write, she would kind of drop down on her web there, kind of right at my eye level. And I just kind of fell in love with her. And then I had a little Buddha statue on one side of the windowsill on the inside, and I found that she would gravitate over there. And I ended up making a whole little altar for her along that window ledge. And so she dropped down every day at my eye level and say hello. And she'd drop down and she'd look at the altar. And then after about 3 months, I came to my computer and she wasn't there. And honestly, it was one of the most devastating moments of my life. I mean, I've been through a lot of difficult things, but it just was heart-wrenching. I ran outside, I looked everywhere, the web was gone, probably from the wind, and she was gone. But she gave me an incredible gift, because one thing that I realized when she would drop down there and she continued to make this web that was so intricate and exacting, was that she was helping me kind of retrain my brain to think and calculate and organize things, which had all kind of disappeared with the Lyme disease, which actually affected me neurologically. So I connected with her through dreams. I would go to sleep at night and ask her to please connect with me and let me know she was all right. And she said, oh, certainly I'm fine. I've just gone on because I came in to do my job. I got you organized, and you're organized now, and I'm fine, don't worry. So the tiniest little creature like that can have the most tremendous gift for us. And even when we notice an animal or an insect in our day-to-day life, we tend to look and we might greet it with respect, but then we forget. And maybe it's actually showing up over and over again, and we're not aware enough. So gifts galore, they're everywhere.
Sharon Callahan, we thank you for providing us with a glimpse into the wonderful inner world of animals and for introducing us to flower essences as a mode of treatment for our animal friends. For more information on Sharon Callahan and Anaflora floral essences for animals, please visit www.anaflora.com. Miss Callahan's book, Healing Animals Naturally with Flower Essences and Intuitive Listening, is available at the same website. Please join us again tomorrow on Animal World, Our Co-Inhabitants, as we continue our illuminating interview with Sharon Callahan on topics such as a valuable lesson we can learn from peacocks and what whales think about humans. Esteemed viewers, thank you for your company today on our program. May all lives be forever filled with the light and grace of heaven.
For more details, please see www.suprememastertv.com/AW.
So the animals would say, work less, think less, be in nature more, and your energy is naturally going to be more loving to the point where you become nothing but love. It's all simple. And to stop killing them. Absolutely no creature wants to be killed and eaten.
Hello, fine viewers, and welcome to Animal World, Our Co-Inhabitants. On today's program, we present the conclusion of our two-part interview with Sharon Callahan, a vegan telepathic animal communicator, author, and expert in the use of flower essences to correct physical and emotional imbalances in animals. Miss Callahan, who is based in Mount Shasta, California, USA, is the founder of Anaflora, a company that offers natural healing agents and animal communication services. An author as well, she has written Healing Animals Naturally with Flower Essences and Intuitive Listening. Did you know each animal has a specific mission in life? Sharon Callahan now explains further.
And you know, if you walk down any neighborhood street and you see a cat or dog in the yard and you're sensitive, you can see that they're doing something very special. You know, the dog is guarding the yard, the cat is monitoring energies and things. So to me, every animal's performing a real sacred ministry. They're all service animals, an example to us that we should all be of service. And again, hopefully one day, someone will take into account really listening to the animals and what their particular gift of service is. And dolphins heal whether we're having them do that or not. They are love, and that love goes where it's needed.
Through her many years of experience as an animal communicator, Miss Callahan has learned that all of our fellow beings are models of devotion and love. However, she says that whales are unique in this respect.
They aren't loving, they are love. And I think it's one of the reasons that whales are as big as they are, because there's a lot of love there moving in the oceans. I feel Master Ching Hai is absolutely correct that I feel without whales in the ocean, we wouldn't still be here. They hold such a vibration of love that it makes up for what we're so sorely lacking. So they are love. They absolutely are love incarnated. They look upon us as children, the newcomers on the earth. I mean, in Earth time, human beings have only been here about 4 minutes. If you look at the whole span of Earth and how it's evolved. And so they think of us as kind of children that don't know what we're doing. They have tremendous compassion for us, never anger, ever, even if we harm them. Tremendous compassion. They'd like us to hurry up a little bit because we're really ruining things. But very much compassion like a mother would show a child. And the reason that we're ruining things, ruining the earth, ruining the environment, ruining our own bodies, is that we've simply separated ourselves out from the animals. For one thing, we forget that we are animals also. We're a human animal. So that we've separated ourselves from the animals, from the plant life, from the earth itself. We think way too much. The ego's the problem. And people misunderstand often what the ego is. It's simply the judging mind that says this is a dog, this is a cat. But it's that part of our mind that judges everything and then causes artificial separation from everything that is. And literally there's no distance between us. It's all illusory. And so it's the ego self that gets in the way, absolutely, of 100% love.
On occasion, groups of dolphins suddenly beach themselves and perish, or thousands of fish die all at once. We asked Miss Callahan to comment on these troubling events.
The ocean has become poison. Anything that lives in the ocean is just screaming because it's polluted, it hurts their eyes, it's incredibly noisy, almost to the point where it drives them crazy. It absolutely may be that a certain group of fish, for instance, simply can't stand to be in the ocean anymore. It's like being in a sea of poison, and so they all leap out. But I think for all of the species that disappear from the earth, they're disappearing for one reason only, because we don't love them enough. We don't love them enough to do what's right. We're not loving them, we're not considering that that's their home and that it was also our home. We came out of the ocean, and I feel that dolphins really they're the ocean people. They're the people that didn't come out. When dolphins beach themselves somewhere, it's not by accident, and it's not that they're sick, and it's not that they can't find their way. It's that it often brings out the best in people. It brings people into their hearts. People go to help. It's often that that particular area of the world needs an infusion of love, and they're willing to sacrifice themselves to give that. And so whales and dolphins and other, incredibly brilliant animals of the sea, wish we would just not think so much, that we would let the energy settle into our hearts to become love.
Humankind can also learn an important lesson from the peacocks.
Peacocks are very interesting because there's a legend in Hinduism that all peacocks began white. And peacocks can eat things that are poison and it doesn't hurt them. So the legend is that peacocks roam the world eating up the poison, and the eating of the poison gives them the color. And a peacock also stands for enlightenment. So to me, a peacock is not only a fantastic image for the enlightened state, but it's also what we should be doing. We need to go clean up our mess. We need to go out into the world and eat up those poisons that we put out. You know, not literally taking it into our body, but doing the cleanup work. And we can. If everybody did it, we'd have it cleaned up in no time. So peacock is a wonderful example of that.
Sharon Callahan has always loved animals and been sensitive to any violence against them. She decided to try to become a vegetarian at age 5 after realizing the packages sold at a meat counter were parts of animals. Today, she avoids all animal products.
And then the veganism, it wasn't a decision. It was just simply a change of vibration in my system that wouldn't allow anything that caused harm. And I've gone for periods of time just on fruits and nuts and things, and it's a wonderful thing to try because you see that you're just fine. So there's a whole evolution that to me happened beyond thought and beyond time, and it wasn't a decision. It was just a natural flow of heart opening and where I wanted to go. I think it goes beyond even what we eat. That we should every day, the minute we wake up, say that I will walk through this day doing as least harm as possible. Got a beloved group of friends who are vegan. And so on Thanksgiving in particular, and often Christmas as well, we all get together in the evening and we prepare our vegan meal. It's always at my friend Eric's home. And the wild turkeys that live in the woods behind his house will literally come in the backyard off of the dining room where we're eating and strut and dance and do this joyful, joyful thing, because they know that we're honoring them. And of course, we feed them. We offer them food, and we never eat a turkey.
Ms. Callahan not only advocates that everyone follow a plant-based diet, but also that our animal companions be provided with vegan food as well.
When I moved to Mount Shasta 30 years ago, I had Siberian Huskies, and they were all vegetarian. And my oldest one was 15, which was for a husky very, very old. They did fine. And they would savor things like a little slice of avocado, a carrot, quinoa, rice. So as the animals evolve and as we help them evolve by creating a sacred atmosphere for them, giving them appropriate non-meat food, we can accelerate the change that they're going through.
With accelerating climate change driven by animal agriculture and a host of other enormous challenges we are currently facing, this is the most crucial period in our planet's history. Adopting a plant-based diet is the most important decision we can make.
I feel that the entire Earth is like almost encapsulated in like a fog or cloud of suffering that certainly includes the suffering of human beings, but more than anything, the suffering that animals that are killed by the millions every day. That energy of the suffering that they go through stays in a kind of band around the Earth. So that if enough people became, vegetarian and then vegan, we would begin to dissipate that energy by simply balancing it. It hits me profoundly that every night when I go to sleep, millions of animals are just dying this horrendous death. In the daytime, you're doing other things. You can distract yourself with your work. But to me, sometimes I can't sleep when I think about it. But if we change, and we must, if we're going to save ourselves, it would begin to help the Earth to emit the light that she should. It would move through that band of suffering that surrounds the Earth. It would envelop it with love. and forgiveness, and everything would change. I mean, literally just the one thing that will save us.
May heaven bless you, Sharon Callahan, for your kind efforts on behalf of our animal brethren and for sharing your insights on how we can heal both them and our world. You exemplify love and compassion. May you help many more people understand the animal's deep, profound love for humankind and the importance of the vegan lifestyle. For more information on Sharon Callahan and Anaflora floral essences for animals, please visit www.anaflora.com. Miss Callahan's book, Healing Animals Naturally with Flower Essences and Intuitive Listening, is available at the same website. Thank you, gifted viewers, for your warm-hearted presence today on Animal World, our co-inhabitants. May all beings, large and small, soon live in harmony and peace in a vegan world.
For more details, please see www.suprememastertv.com/AW.
A to Z list of animal helpers.
Our world has been bestowed with the beauty and service of animal life in myriad forms, big and small, each bringing gifts to enrich our existence.
The following are just a few of these precious beings and their unique contributions, which are offered freely to benefit all on the planet. Not included herein are their invisible spiritual help.
Ants aerate the soil and dig tunnels that provide channels for water to reach plants.
Apes are seed dispersal agents and help maintain the integrity of flora and fauna diversity.
Bats disperse seeds. Their guano provides fertilizer. Researchers, modeling after bats' echolocation, have invented a cane for the visually impaired.
Beavers build dams that help maintain wetlands.
Bees pollinate crops, fruit trees, and flower blossoms.
Beetles' method of gathering water on their wings is inspiring engineers to develop more efficient water harvesting technologies. Their feet are being modeled after to invent better adhesives, help to control weeds.
Birds disperse seeds and pollinate plants.
Chipmunks rejuvenate the forest.
Cows grazing naturally create a favorable environment for native herbs and other plants.
Deer foraging play an important role in shaping forest regeneration.
Dogs act as therapy companions and guides for the sight and hearing impaired, help with the disadled's daily tasks, perform altruistic life-saving deeds for both humans and animals.
Dolphins are therapy and rescue animals, assist also in finding ocean mines.
Earthworms improve soil fertility.
Elephants facilitate plant germination, aid rainforest regrowth, dig new water holes, make pathways used by humans and other animals.
Ferrets are the perfect size to help run cables through large electrical conduits.
Fish help mitigate climate change by maintaining the pH balance of marine ecosystems.
Frogs aid in nutritional cycling, are good ecological indicators of ecosystem stress, pesticide impact, and other anthropogenic activities.
Geckos' feet have provided inspiration for scientists to invent a super adhesive.
Geese and other waterfowl play a significant role in maintaining wetlands plant diversity.
Giraffes help protect and promote the growth of acacia trees in the savanna, which maintains the habitat's ecological balance.